What an ad, guys. What an excellent ad. I'm talking about Royal Enfield Meteor. You know what, I didn't see that ad when they launched that bike. I saw that ad yesterday night and it just blew my mind. The visuals, that emotion. I'm so glad that an Indian brand like Royal Enfield is producing such beautiful piece of art. I'm super excited to see what's there in the package. Again, I'm talking about Royal Enfield Meteor. Hope it's not going to disappoint me. Let's see how it goes. That ad brought me here to this showroom. I hope I don't go through any vibrations. Let me see how it goes. You know, by the way, if you have watched my previous video, I had reviewed Honda Highness CB350, and I'm going to compare that bike with this bike because the specifications, features of both the bikes are more or less same. Personally, I liked CB350 a lot, and this is the first time I'll be riding this bike. Let me see, it's going to change my opinion or something like that. Okay, I think this is the Supernova top variant. Okay, man, look at these buttons, man. I've never seen this kind of buttons in any other bikes. First gear. I like that sound. This is the classic Royal Enfield exhaust note. Oh, again I'm not squeezing the clutch. Used to quick shifter in my Duke 790. Good, man. Good, impressive. Oh, 80. No vibrations. Let me see. Let me try to hit 90 or 100 and check if there are any vibrations, because I have seen in other Royal Enfield bikes, not all the bikes, couple of bikes, where I have noticed the vibrations in the bike after 80 km/h. Hey, good, man. Brakes are also good. So I understand it's a dual channel, what do we call it, ABS for front and rear. First, let me hit highway. And my first impressions after riding it, so comfortable. My hands, my entire body is so relaxed. I'm not at all using my energy to handle this bike at all. I think I can sit on this bike for hours together, for whole day. Okay, so 0. First gear. Oh, first gear goes till 50. Second gear goes till 70. Third gear goes till what, 100-ish. Fourth gear, no vibrations. Oh, I'm surprised. No vibrations at all. This is the first time I have not seen the vibration in Royal Enfield bike. Good, man. We got two options here to see the details. This shows the time, this one. Here also we can see the time, gear, trip, details, fuel. We got on digital speedometer and the old school, what do we call it, analog speedometer. This windshield is doing a good job. I'm not going through any wind blast, but we'll have to check this on highways. Let me check the top speed. So much of traffic. Let me check the top speed now. Fourth gear. Still I'm not going to any vibrations. No vibrations in the mirrors, no vibration in foot pegs, no vibration in handlebar. How many gears do I have to change? Fifth gear. Fifth gear, what? 120-ish. I got 5 gears in this bike. Top speed is around 120 km/h. Even this bike is planted on the road like CB350. If I compare this bike with CB350, I'm just sharing my first impressions. Braking is almost same in both the bikes. This is slightly bit more comfortable compared to CB350. It doesn't mean that CB350 is not comfortable. CB350 is also very comfortable. I like that bike, but this bike is slightly more comfortable compared to that bike because of this raised handlebars, and I feel as if I'm sitting in a comfortable sofa or something, man. Let me figure out the sweet spot, like the comfortable cruising speed. 70, I think 70-ish, 70, 80 is the comfortable cruising speed. We'll have to ride this bike for so many kilometers on highway in different terrains to understand how this bike is going to perform. Right, this is just my first impressions based on what I'm feeling right now while riding it. And I was talking about comparing this with CB350, right? So I liked the initial throttle response in CB350. When I opened the throttle, right, the response, the pickup was slightly more compared to this bike. That's the only major difference that I found between these two bikes. Clutch is also light like CB350. I will show you how light it is. One finger, I'm using one finger to change the gear. That's it. CB350's clutch is slightly lighter than this. Good that they have come up with this ABS. Pretty sharp, man. Good. I'm at 100 now. Let me apply the brakes. Okay. Good braking response. Nice. Oh, good. Very good. You saw me braking at around 80, 100-ish speed. I didn't feel as if I'm gonna fall or something. Wheels didn't slide. Anyways, it's ABS. The response was good and I was very confident, man. Let me hear the exhaust note. This is how it sounds. I'm not sure how comfortable this bike is at corners, because look at the foot pegs. It might scrape the road when you're doing corners. I'm not sure. This is made for highway rides. What I feel is the suspension is slightly on the stiffer side. The rear suspension I'm talking about, I don't know whether it's adjustable. No, it's in the fixed position now. Let me go through some harsh potholes to figure out whether my back is going to take a bit of impact or suspension is going to absorb that impact. Let me see. Zerep. Okay. Where is bad road? Where are you going, man? No indicator at all. It's on motor. I can feel now. Suspension is slightly on the stiffer side. Here there is one more pothole. Okay. So again one more pothole. How it feels in this bike while I go through some rough patch. Okay, that's okay. So since this riding posture is up front with raised handlebars, your upper body weight is on your lower back. So while you're going through potholes, some bad roads, make sure you go slow there so that your back is not going to take impact. Unlike naked bikes, you have seen in naked bikes, right? The riding posture is a bit aggressive like this. In this, the 80% of your upper body weight is on your lower back and 20% of your body weight is on your hands. So in bad roads, just make sure you go slow. After riding this bike for a while, I think this is the most comfortable bike to ride in 300 to 400cc segment, man. I can't compare this with adventure bikes, but when I compare this with some other bikes like Java, Domino or CB350, in terms of comfort, in terms of cruising experience, I think this is the best that's available in the market. It's just my opinion, not to offend any other owners, but still it lacks a bit of initial throttle response. I was super impressed after watching that ad. and I'm also impressed after riding this bike. Let me take a U-turn and go back to that showroom to check the on-road price, warranty and other stuff like service interval, service cost, everything. Gear shifting is smooth. All in all, big thumbs up for Royal Enfield for manufacturing a nice bike like this with no vibrations at all. I see slight vibrations in the mirror when I'm on neutral. Can you observe? Just see the mirror. That's negligible, it's fine. After riding both the bikes, Honda Highness CB350 and Royal Enfield Meteor, if you ask me which one I liked, I would that's a tricky question. I'm slightly inclined towards Honda Highness CB350, but I'm not saying this is not a good bike. It's just that it goes with the way I ride. You know, I like that initial throttle response in that bike. That's the only reason. But man, this bike's riding posture, braking response, I mean, everything is awesome. It differs from rider to rider, so that's the thing. But still, this is one hell of a bike, man. Very nice. Lot of improvements in this bike. Okay, why people are staring at me? Did I come late? No. Rev ಮಾಡಿ. Hold ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ hold. Thank you, sir. Where is the sales guy? So what's the on-road price of this Meteor?
So starting from 2,17,000 to 2,38,000 it is.
2,17,000 to 2,36,000 rupees.
The price varies from
Variant to variant. Okay, the top variant is 2,36,000
the mid variant
on road, and it fluctuates from state to state. In Bengaluru, it's 2,36,000. That's the one which I rode, I think, the Nova, Supernova.
Yeah, that's a top end model.
Okay.
So by default you will be getting this front visor and backward camera.
Okay, base variants. Okay.
Two are base variant. That's a Supernova.
Mhm.
Without visor it is.
This is the top variant.
Top end, yeah. This comes with a dual color.
Dual colors. Okay. What's the warranty when we buy this? We get some warranty, right? 3 years.
On the engine, 2 years warranty you will get it. Sir.
Okay. Do we have an option to extend it?
Yeah, of course we do have an extended warranty option as well.
How many years?
For up to 5 years it is.
Up to 5 years. So now, what's the maintenance cost? And how many free service?
These services will be 4 as usual.
4. Okay.
So first 3 services for 500 kilometers. Second service will be for 5,000.
5,000.
Third one will be for 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And fourth 3 service is for 15,000.
Okay, like 5,000 kilometers is the service interval. Fifth service is the paid service.
Paid service.
What is the estimated cost?
Around 2,500.
That's it, 2,500 rupees.
3,000, not more than that.
Okay, not at all expensive. Last thing, I rode CB350 also. That is also a nice bike. I'm literally confused because this has got very good riding posture, raised handlebar. If I ask you as a customer, what's the major difference? How do you differentiate this bike with your CB350? If I want to buy this, let me know 3 points why I have to buy this and why I should not buy that. Can you just highlight 3 points?
So one thing is, so of course I'll go with the comfort. Second one is that unique look you get in this. And the third point is, the major thing is like Royal Enfield itself has a great value in the market.
Okay, so everything boils down to the last question. What's the mileage?
So mileage is expected mileage is 35 to 40. So
35 to 40.
35 in the city, and the highway least to least you'll get a 40.
No, this is a different engine altogether.
Different engine.
Not the old Thunderbird engine or something. No. Okay.
That's why you're not getting the vibrations.
Thank you very much. See you again.
Yes, sir.
Bye, take care. Now, after riding both the bikes, Honda Highness CB350 and Royal Enfield Meteor bikes, if you ask me which one is better, what's my final verdict? I have no final verdict. It is a bit hard to answer. Both the bikes are best in their own ways. If you see from the reliability standpoint, both the bikes are reliable. Both the companies are there in the market for so many years, over decades. There is one positive aspect to Royal Enfield, that is this Royal Enfield has got a lot of service centers around, right? If you're riding in different terrains like across India, worst case, if bike breaks down, you got a lot of options around, and there are so many local mechanics who can fix that issue. More than service centers, I see a lot of local mechanics who can fix issues in Royal Enfield bikes. At the end of the day, it's up to riders' preference which bike to choose. That's it for this video, guys, and you will see me in my next video, probably taking the delivery of my KTM Duke 790 from the service center. If you have not watched my previous video, I was facing some issues with my 790, and they're going to fix the issue in next 2 or 3 days. I will get my bike back so that I can plan for some rides. Let me see how it goes. Somewhere down the line, I feel I want to own one affordable, reliable, easy to maintain bike in 300 to 400cc segment, and I'm even excited and waiting for KTM to launch their KTM 250 Adventure. I think they're going to launch in Bengaluru by end of this month. Let me see how it goes. There are so many thoughts running in my mind. I myself do not know when I would make the final decision. Sometimes if I like the bike, I might book it then and there. So thank you for watching, guys. See you. Take care. Bye bye.